episode 1, traffic stops, on our Katie the Closer TV series, You Have the Right to Remain Silent, caused a lot of questions. And I love questions. Y'all know I'm really big on educating the people and providing information. And so I certainly do not want to leave you out there with your questions unanswered. And one continuing question about that video was, how do you remain silent but still be cooperative with the police? And this is a really good question, because I wanted to be very clear that even though you have the right to remain silent, there are certain things that you do still have to do at a traffic stop. You have to be compliant with the officer. So what does that mean? When the officer approaches your vehicle and they request that you provide your information or your driver's license or even your state ID, you have to do that. If you don't have your driver's license or your state ID, you can't simply not tell them who you are. You have to provide your information. Another thing that you have to do, if they ask you to, you have to get out of the vehicle. There are a number of reasons they can ask you to get out of the vehicle. They may smell marijuana and therefore they have probable cause for a search. Or they may ask you to get out of the vehicle because for some reason they have officer safety concerns. This may seem uncomfortable to you, but you have to do that because you have to be compliant with them. Now, once they take you out of the vehicle, if they have reasons to believe, reasons that they would have to articulate later, that you should be patted down for their safety or that you may have weapons on you, then they can pat you down. But they should also ask you if you want to be patted down. Now, here's where it gets tricky. If you say no, if they have reason to believe that their safety could be at issue, then they can still pat you down. They also should ask you whether or not they can search you. And that's a telltale sign to you that they may not have a good reason to search you. But that's where preserving your right to remain silent comes into play, because you should tell them, no, I don't want you to search me. The same applies to searching your vehicle. If they ask you to search your vehicle, you can consent to search if you want to, but you don't have to consent to search of your vehicle. Again, they could search it anyway, but here's how that plays out. Because one of the ongoing questions that I got was, well, what if they do it anyway? Well, they may do it anyway. And if they do it anyway, at some point later, your lawyer will raise that issue as a violation of your constitutional rights. But your rights have not been violated if you voluntarily gave them up. So here's the reality of the situation. You should be cooperative, you should be polite, you should be compliant, but you don't have to be extra and give extra information, because chances are you usually can't talk yourself out of being charged with a crime, but you can certainly talk yourself into being charged with a crime if you offer too much additional information. So again, be cooperative, get out of the car if they tell you to, but once you are outside of the car, you certainly don't have to answer questions. Even if they read you your Miranda warnings, you do not have to answer questions and you don't have to engage in small talk. So I hope that clears up some of our questions. And if it doesn't, make sure that you leave your questions in the comment section below. And also make sure that you continue to watch our series, You Have the Right to Remain Silent, as we cover additional topics.